Blessed be everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to share more of my story about coming to the Wiccan path. And it's a part of the story I haven't really shared before because I hadn't really sat down and thought about this as the connection. So I wanted to share more of that with you because you may find that you have similar reasons as well for exploring the path and being attracted to the path. Before I do though, I'm Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com, author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path. And if you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the videos. And if you are interested in that deeper exploration of shadow work as well as aligning your chakras, then have a look at my free video. It is called How to Heal Your Shadow Through Balancing Your Energy Centers. It's basically a masterclass webinar where I go through the various different chakras and the relationship to that deep inner work. The link is in the description field below this video. I was thinking more deeply about what attracted me to the path, to the craft. And I've done videos in the past on why I'm a witch, why I'm a Wiccan, what I'm attracted to. And I talk about very similar things to what a lot of people have told me, which is looking for that connection, that particularly the connection to nature, getting back to nature, trying to attune with the seasons, attuning with the cycles of the moon, attuning to feminine energies as well as the masculine energies, and just basically knowing that we are magical beings and that we have the ability to be able to be here to create. And a lot of people also come to the craft to feel more empowered in themselves. And I'd have to say that for me, though all of those things definitely are true, but it goes even more deeper than that. For me, at the beginning, when I was looking at being attracted to spiritual path in general, it was really something that was always there. It's like a sense of this has always been there. It's never gone away. It's not necessarily something I've discovered. It's more something that I've remembered or rediscovered. And the reason for me walking the path, looking to that connection to spirit in the first place, was that feeling of disconnection from life, the disconnection from who I am, and being in a world, you know, when we think of the established world, a world that is very cold, a world that can be very based on rationality, a world that is disconnected from nature, a world that is disconnected from spirit, a world where people are disconnected from each other, and a world of basically disconnection, where we have to spend our lives slaving away, often doing things we don't want to do in order to be able to survive. And from a very early age, I just couldn't understand why this was so. And when I became a teenager and I started to have more formal operational thinking and was able to look at the world and look at my relatives and look at what people were doing with their lives, I looked at it and I thought, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to do that. I'm not into that. You know, my family are great people, but they lead very conventional lives, which is fine, very Catholic people. And although it works for them and they seem to be very happy with it, I just knew that it just was not my path. And even though when I was younger I was still working within the Catholic system or the Catholic structure, there was that need to connect to spirit, to connect to something other than myself, but something that seemed to be other than the mundane world as well. I also grew up with a lot of feelings of self-doubt and low self-esteem and even self-hatred. So the spiritual path for me was a way to maybe try to remedy that, to try to find a sense of confidence in my life. Magic particularly was something that I was drawn to because I thought, well, magic might be able to help me construct my life more in the direction that I want to construct it. Because the world that I'd been born into seemed to be a world of you have no control over anything, you have no power even over yourself. Everything is about your reaction to what's going on in the world, and you're basically a slave to the system, essentially. And I just felt that that wasn't what I wanted, and it certainly wasn't the life that I wanted to live. So the spiritual path to me offered me a way of freedom. It offered me a sense of, if I can connect to spirit and really figure out who and what I truly am, then maybe this life will actually take on some real meaning, and I can get out of this world of this materialistic, rationalistic, very divisive, very detached world that I had found myself in, and all of the shaming and the guilting and the negativity, where we're constantly being told who we should be, what we can say, what we can't say, what we can do, what we can't do, and feeling shame if we try to move off into our own path. And that's something that I've certainly experienced, that when you do start to walk your path, when you do start to become more attuned to who you are, and you make that decision to walk the magical path or any of the spiritual path, whether that's as a witch, a magician, or a mystic, you're walking away from the norm. You're walking away from the normal world. And you're going to get criticism for that. There's going to be shaming and blaming and even a lot of anger and rage, particularly if it's the witchcraft path, because we have quite a negative reputation, deliberately created to scare people away from their magical selves. And so you're going to come across a lot of pressure from the world around you that may go against what it is that you're wanting to do. And it's kind of weird, because as a person growing up with low self-esteem, a lot of self-doubt and even self-hatred, going into a path that would create even more criticism, even more judgment from people, which is what originally created the self-doubt, the self-hate in the first place, going up through childhood and having lots of judgment and criticism, particularly from my schooling, because school was a terrible experience for me. It was just horrible. Teachers were horrible. And to walk the path then where you're going to actually get more criticism, it's kind of funny, but a lot of us do this. A lot of us who have gone through an upbringing environment where we have taken on a lot of self-doubt, and also from past lives as well, where we may still have self-loathing even, and that sense of there's something wrong with the world, essentially. And knowing that there's something wrong with the world, which there's definitely something wrong with this establishment, okay? There's definitely something wrong with it. Detachment from spirit, totally caught up in rationalism, totally caught up in regulations and do's and don'ts, totally caught up in authoritarianism, totally caught up with all of those things that the spiritual path really is almost the opposite of. It's a path where you have to take individual responsibility. It's a path where you have to be free to walk the path yourself. It's a path of sovereignty, individual spiritual sovereignty. And it's quite difficult to walk it, because you've got the mundane world often trying to pull you back into the sort of more robotic ways of being. And the witchcraft path and the spiritual path in general offered me the door. It opened the door to, you don't have to live that way if you don't want to. It's been a hard road, really, to be different and to walk a path that is often criticized and condemned by many people is a really difficult path to walk. And we do have to learn how to be hidden a lot of the time. We do have to shroud ourselves or veil ourselves in the world. We always have. Because when you are tuned into spirituality, and the closer you get to it, the more you realize that the establishment wants to draw you back into that mundane materialistic world. And so you do have to protect yourself by veiling yourself at various different times and various different stages. You learn to be much more of an independent thinker. You have to be a more critical and independent thinker on this path. There are people who can certainly help guide you and show you the basics, but when it comes to really working on this path to get that sense of spiritual liberation, you've got to go down into your deep, dark depths of the shadow to then deal with all of the crap that you learned about yourself and the world in your upbringing with the established world. So it's like you've got to go in and look at everything that you've been told, everything that you believe, and go, well, where did that come from? And how true is that? And go back into your self-doubt and the low self-esteem and the shame and the guilt, and heal that in the shadow. And look at our shadow characteristics that are really just there to keep us safe, and see how we use them negatively in the world, as maybe selfishness, as maybe arrogance, and looking at how we can then transform that into something that is more useful and positive in the world as well. So this whole path was really about healing the inner trauma that I experienced. That's what it was. It was like, how do I escape from this world of rational, mundane materialism that just seems to be making people more and more restricted, when I wanted to be free? And the spiritual path offered me the path of freedom, and that was really where it began for me. Freedom. The freedom of being able to walk my own path. A lot of people say that when they come to the path, the witchcraft path, that it is about finding their power, because we know that we have our own sense of power. We know that we have more of an ability, definitely, to have more power over ourselves, and also to be able to a large extent, be able to attract more of the things we want to attract to us. Now, we can't control the world outside of ourselves. We can't control other people as much as we would like to, perhaps. But we certainly can control ourselves, and it's when we work on ourselves that we find that the world around us changes as well. It's all of those beliefs, all of those things that we learned in our childhood through the school system, that in a way we kind of have to unlearn in order to be able to walk the path of freedom. And that's what the spiritual traditions offer, is a path of freedom. But it's a tough road, and you do have to go down into the shadow and deal with all of that icky programming, but it's well worth it. So that is really initially what attracted me to the spiritual path. The need to escape the mundane, crazy, rational, materialistic world that made no sense, that seemed to be totally disconnected and detached from anything meaningful. Being a robot, having to do things that you didn't want to do, in order just to be able to survive, and finding, well, what's the truth? What is the truth of the reality of the universe? This can't be life, you know, it just can't be life. If it is, it's not a life probably that is really going to bring happiness. So that's really what attracted me to it. And all of the connection to nature was certainly a part of that. Certainly a part of that, and certainly is a part of that. But through nature, through connecting with nature, just being out in nature, it takes you away from the robotic human world. It takes you away from that rationalism. It brings you into contact with something bigger than yourself, something greater than yourself that you're a part of. And you can't help but feel more liberated when you're actually in nature. You just can't help it. And walking back into, say, the human city structure of the rat race, then you're feeling that disconnection again. So there's so many reasons why we come to the path. So what are your reasons for coming to the path? If you sit down and think about it, yes, the connection to nature, but what caused you to feel the need to connect to nature in the first place? Was there a feeling of disconnection from nature, or did you feel like you were perhaps being forced to disconnect from nature? Because that's what I felt like. I felt like I was being forced away from the path, forced away from connecting to nature, forced away from connecting to the cycles, forced away from magic, forced away from being able to heal my shadow. it was like deliberately trying to take you away from all of the things that bring joy and peace and love into your life. That's what it felt like. So for me, it was kind of a, no, I don't want to live that life like that. I want to find out what's really going on. And if that's going to be a problem for other people, then tough. They're just going to have to live with it, because I have to walk my path. So I hope you enjoyed that rambling about my story, because I was sitting there thinking about more about what really did attract me to the path initially, right at the very beginning, even before the need to connect to nature. And that is what it was. It was the fact that I just felt like the world that I was living in was just not the right world. It wasn't reality. It wasn't what it should be. And then I'm trying to find what the truth and what the reality really is. So if you are wanting to do healing on your shadow, do have a look at that free video, how to heal your shadow through balancing your energy centers. That is the chakra system, because in each chakra we contain a lot of the programs that take us away from our spiritual path, take us away from feeling connected to ourselves, take us away from feeling connected to nature, particularly in the first 4 chakras. Once they're more balanced, and once you've done a lot of work on the lower chakras, then the upper chakras kind of take care of themselves, and there's only a little bit of stuff you really need to do to really tune into them and open them up. But the real tough work is in the 4 lower chakras. So if you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. Blessed be.